What is up, plant community? So today I'm gonna be talking about this Majesty palm and the care and along with other things. So the Majesty palm, whenever it gets around the time to bring them outdoors or you find them at big shop stores like your Walmart or Target or wherever they sell these guys at, um, you want to put them in full shade, and you want to do this for a week and then acclimate them to partial light, so like full sun and half shade, and then you can finally move them in full direct sun, because if not you'll get scorching on the leaves. And so the Majesty palm likes a lot of water. They are native to Madagascar. They like a lot of water. They need a lot of water just to keep going and producing healthy and good-looking foliage. Uh, you can get your average pest problems, thrips, mealybugs. My main problem I have is crickets that likes to eat on these. Yay! But I ain't worried about my palms looking perfect. I like more of a wild look anyways, rather than a tamed, beat-up garden look. So the Majesty palm care, whenever you move them in direct sun, they're going to need way more water than they will if they're in shade. They'll do just fine in shade, but they prefer to be in direct sunlight. Again, they need lots of water. They need palm fertilizer because it has all the things that palms require in order to grow. Your average fertilizer will not do. Your palms will need palm fertilizer in the end. They don't really like low light, so say, because, and this is for people who are in like tropical to subtropical areas where they could grow these. So the Majesty palm likes to deal with temperatures around 60 degrees. I've had them out here during spring and it gets like down into the 40s and 30s, but I take them in if there's a warning of frost, because frost will absolutely kill them. They do all right with it, but no, they preferably like to be at temperatures of 60 degrees and up. But I like to try to get as much growth as I can on my a bug just hit me right in the face, man. But anyways, I like to try to get as much growth as I can on my Majesty palm. So I try to bring them out as early as I can. So yeah, you just want normal palm fertilizer. I got some palm fertilizer. If you're in an area where you don't typically see palms, you might not find palm fertilizer. You might have to do like me, order it offline, just to have a good supply of palm fertilizers. Because I'm in an area, Indiana, where we don't grow palms. Indiana, if we do grow them, we grow them in containers. That's about as the max we have here. Our area ain't very warm anyways. I mean, it's warm during the summer, but we also get real bad winters. That's if you're up north like me. So winter care. Majesty palms need a lot of attention. They need their soil to stay moist. They need to be up against a bright window, or at least have a grow light on them in order to keep them healthy and keep them going through the winter. In fact, if you're going to keep a Majesty palm, you might want to put them in full sun to beef them up for the winter, so that way you can get them through the winter and get them back outside again. That's how I do my Majesty palms. And again, they like their soil to stay moist. They need lots of humidity. So whenever I bring my Majesty palms in for the winter, I not only stick them by a window, but I have a grow light on them. And I miss them about 3 times a day because they need that humidity, and that it gets real dry in the winter. So like it's very important to give them that humidity, um, because if not, they may start to get a little something like this, little dry fronds. But of course, this is an old frond anyways. These right here are my newer fronds, and we got one starting to pop up here. Okay, I thought that was bugs. No, that's just some paint or something. Okay. It's important to not get water in the crown because that could cause crown rot. So make sure you don't get water in the crown. It's all right if they're like outside during the summer because there's wind moving about. There's constant wind circulation, and that wind will dry up the water that is potentially inside the crown of the palm. Um, yeah, I feel like sometimes they set a lot of people up for failure with these particular palms because they need a lot of care. That they really do. They're not an easy palm to care for. This palm is easier than this guy over here. Um, but yeah, they need lots of care. During the winter, they need lots of humidity. They need to be misted about 3 to 2 times a day. Um, their soil needs to be kept moist, and they're going to need palm fertilizers. A lot of people wind up killing these. Really, here, when they're placed in gardens that they don't grow, we can't really keep a lot of tropicals unless they're cold hardies like your bananas that can die down and you can cut back. Uh, because our winters get too cold for palms like this out here. Uh, there was one time we was actually colder than the Arctic, so that there tells you how cold we can get here in Indiana. But our summers can be absolutely brutal and hot. But other than that, the Majesty palm to me is fairly easy to care for. Again, I feel like they set some people up for failure when they sell them at big box stores because they say you keep them in medium to low light. No, that's not the case. I used to have two of the exact same palms. I had one in this container. I divided it because they like to germinate two palms in one container. And really, it's good to like separate them so that way you can give them the max growth. But one didn't make it because I decided to test one in a low light situation and to a medium light situation. They do not care for it. They really do like the bright light. I mean, even if you don't have bright light, just stick them up against the brightest window you could find and keep them up there. And make sure the temperature does not go below really 40 to 30 degrees. Um, yeah, I mean that's really all I got to say about the Majesty palm. I think the reason why they really do sell these guys as easy palms to grow, when in reality they're a little bit more difficult than your other palms because they're a major tropical palm, is because they germinate so fast. Like they germinate faster than what a Chinese fan palm would, what a fishtail palm would, or a cycad, or anything like that. So they just germinate fast enough they get them out on the market. And here they're treated like annuals. If they are planted in the ground and they just let them die over winter. They don't dig them up or anything. Um, I'd like to try to get this guy a little bit bigger because here in Indiana, you don't see that. You don't see palms get big. Uh, you don't see really big palm trees. Really, this is besides the garden center I go to, I think this is the biggest palm anyone's ever really seen out here. Uh, yeah, people get so excited when they see these palms and all that because, again, most people don't see that here. Um, you start getting dry tips like this, you can just kind of cut them off because they're kind of starting to die there anyways. Or you can just go ahead and just chop it off, but me, I wait for my frond to fully die back. And once it dies back, then you can completely chop the palm frond off. Uh, I want to say they're fast growers when they get about this stage. I'd say they're more of a medium fast grower. Uh, During the winter, they'll grow really slow for you. Because you ain't got much light and you ain't got much sun coming in, especially here in Indiana. It gets really cloudy. We're lucky if we just get maybe 1 day out of a whole month or 2 days out of a whole month of sunlight. Then the rest is supplied with grow lights when it gets darker. But when you bring them outside, they really start to bust out and start really growing for you. Um, Otherwise than that, they can be a little difficult, in my opinion, to grow them indoors. But I don't. I mean, I've had more pickier plants than the Majesty palm, to be honest, growing indoors. The Majesty palm really didn't bring a challenge to me. But most people don't want to put that much time and effort, though, into growing something nice and tropical. And me, I like the real tropical palms. Subtropical palms are kind of alright, but I like the real tropical foliage on the palms. Um, but yeah, a lot of people, like I said, have failed these because big box stores kind of set them up for failure. Of course, you have your normal pests, thrips, mealybugs, etc. I have a problem with crickets. That's my pest problem. That's what I have issues with. But otherwise than that, the Majesty palm seems to be fairly easy to grow. You want them to get a trunk, you can easily upgrade the pot. I'm thinking about upgrading this guy soon to a bigger pot. I'm glad I separated my baby Majesty palm, honestly, from my other palm, and I have this one guy left because they like to have their root systems expand out. I found out Majesty palms really do not like their root systems crowded in a pot. So it can be a little difficult to grow them, but I think if you get like a clump of 2 or 3, you could definitely separate those, have more palms, and you'll give them more room to grow in, and the palm will thank you later for it. And yeah, I've had this palm in this pot for 2 years now. Still hasn't fully rooted in this pot, so I think I did something really right here by splitting the baby palm up from this, because I think if I had the baby Majesty in here with the main big Majesty palm, it would have took it up a lot of soil and a lot of room and a lot more moisture, and they wouldn't have done as well. So another fun fact about these palms is they are endangered in Madagascar, actually. So yeah, when I lost that baby and realized that they were endangered in Madagascar, I'm like, oh, I'm a horrible person. I didn't mean for it to die. I didn't want it to die, but so yeah, Majesty Palm. If you found this video educational and you might think about buying the Majesty Palm to grow for yourself, I'd do it long as you're willing to put into care, time, and effort. If not, I'd completely avoid the Majesty Palm and go more with a subtropical like the Chinese fan palm, or even a cycad, which would be a lot more easier to care for than a Majesty Palm. But again, if you find this video educational, give me a thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe, and it really helps me out and helps me to teach people more about everything plants. Um, Till then, see you guys next time. Hope you enjoyed this video.